You can pick that up in your spare time.
Yeah. What spare time?
Spare time.
That's called sleep time.
Yeah. What should I do with this one? This one's out of power. Put someone,
Do you have a battery?
no, but we're good. Now, just
Oh, okay.
put it somewhere for later.
He's on this. There's something magical or something.
Jim?
Well, I don't know. Are we giving up on trying to connect her? Okay.
So I can hear you now.
Whoa. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I just said I can hear you now.
You were frozen for a while. Now we can see you move and talk.
I'm gonna say, it sounds like she cut out again.
No, I didn't cut out. I think somebody has set the view to speaker instead of gallery, maybe.
Sounds like it's functioning.
It's somebody needs the view is set wrong. It's going to whoever is speaking. And I'll be muted when I'm not speaking, so you don't hear the dog chewing a bone.
Is that a state of Maine map behind you?
It is, that's where my camp is.
Ah, okay.
Cobb's Bay. So it's not the whole state of Maine, it's Cobb's
Yeah.
Bay and Grand Manan off to the side there.
Yeah, my brother had a place up in Lebec.
Oh, that's where my camp is.
He's out on Gubbs Puny Island. In
Huh?
South Bay.
Cool.
Well done. You have a career in IT? Okay, let's call this meeting to order at 6:05. Maybe just do a roll call. Doug Brown. Tom Divney.
Jessica Call?
As far as the agenda, I think this is fairly hot off the press, so there's no changes, I presume.
No, no changes.
All right,
Second.
all in favor? Aye. Okay, that takes us to new business. Is there any new business? No? All right, moving right along. Old business. I guess the first question I would have is, did legal counsel have a chance to review any of these amendments?
After tonight. So
After
after
tonight.
tonight, that you guys sort of give some blessings on things.
Okay. Yeah. All right, okay, so,
Yeah, we'll have one more to reconvene afterwards.
but we shouldn't get through any authorization or approval of amendments at this point.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do that at the next meeting.
Right, next meeting, right, okay. All right, well, then I'm going to turn the floor over to Tara. I understand there have been some changes to the amendments that she had proposed since the last meeting.
I think if you start with Amendment 3 in what Jessica sent out tonight, that we should talk about that first.
It's one that has all the red writing on the front page.
I can't screen share, it's been disabled, but your proposed amendment number 3 makes some changes to sections that the amendment we've been working on gets rid of. And you can create a real kind of legal nightmare if you have conflicting amendments like that.
Right, that's why I mentioned that at the last meeting.
I missed that, but
Okay,
so two things. One is, there's no need to put a new definition of building envelope that unless you're using it in something new, it's not in the ordinance anywhere else right now.
so what if the ordinance that you're proposing doesn't pass? Then that leaves us with language that we're trying to fix.
Right, so we can
Okay.
do two things. I mean, I've written 3 amendments and some of them say, well, if that doesn't pass, then we do this. So I can write it to do that. But what I'm saying is, I don't think you need to have a definition of building envelope. I think this amendment that you've written, just changing, can just say if amendment blah, blah, blah doesn't pass, then it does these things. It changes building envelope to buildable area and gives it this definition.
Okay.
But you're putting a definition in for a term that you would no longer be using, I think.
Right.
And I can edit that, and I can edit the amendment we've been working on to go with it. So I can make both happen. Somebody needs to change the little diagram though that says building envelope on it.
Yeah, that's just a picture, so I have to come make a brand new one from scratch.
Right, and yours is gonna be better than mine, but
Yeah,
that has to be part of it. So
okay, yes,
so I can work with you to make those go.
okay.
So I understand that we're saying, this would not have this kind of caveat in here that if amendment number XXX does not pass, removing expansion of building envelope beyond existing elevations, that section would read as follow. There wouldn't be any of that language in the amendment, right?
Yeah, there would have to be, and it would go after. We'd change the order a little bit so that you're seeing this rewrite first, and then you're seeing something saying, well, if that doesn't pass, then we want to do this. And we already have a couple other things like that.
Okay, so amendment number 3 would be later on down in the list?
Yeah, and
Is that what you're saying?
I'll have to work with you on numbering because we have been
Okay.
talking about 4 amendments.
Yep,
Because we have the separate special exception conditions, and then we've kind of pulled the non-conforming stuff apart into 3.
yep,
And I'll plug that one into the right place.
okay,
And the special exception conditions one could go, I mean, that can go at the tail end. That doesn't have to tuck in here, but
yeah, I think I did add it as amendment number 8.
okay, I didn't get all the
yeah.
way through. I got
Yep.
I got stuck
Yeah.
on 3.
Yeah, I did. I stuck that way at amendment number 8, and I created section 535 and labeled it conditions. That seems to fit.
We at the risk of confusing the committee, because I'm jumping around here. All right. Do you guys want to talk about amendment 3 and then go on to the stuff we've been working on together?
Yeah, anyone object to that? No?
Just
Everyone on the
because it
same
relates-
page? Let me ask you that, because I'm a little confused.
It relates to what I'm working on, so I'll need to know where you land on it.
In agreement.
For 3? Has there been any change since the last meeting on 3?
No,
No?
no. So,
Okay.
and then, so Tara's gonna make some wording that if these other further amendments that have to do with non-conforming, like if those don't pass,
Pass.
then this one would take effect.
But I was suggesting a
Yeah.
change in amendment 3 because I don't think you have any need. I don't think you need to have a definition of building envelope unless you're gonna
Well,
use the
'cause-
term in something new.
It's listed in the non-conforming ordinance in
But
320.
your amendment is gonna propose changing it to buildable area. right?
I think that's
But
what
with
I
Main
understood.
I mean, if your amendment is proposing to say buildable area instead, I don't think there's anywhere else in the ordinance that you use building envelope. I did a search, I didn't find it.
I thought this one was yours, Norma, right? Weren't you looking for? We had two definitions that none of which covered the inside of the building. Right?
Yeah, I was thinking that because we changed it, that we needed to also identify it as what a building envelope is. Because I didn't believe the way we were using it was the correct definition. I don't know that we need to pull it out and make it a special
I was gonna say,
definition
is there
at
any
this
harm
point.
in leaving it in?
Well,
Does it
there
screw up
isn't
some
any
of the stuff
harm
we
in
wanted?
it. I think it's bad practice to have definitions for terms you don't use.
Yeah, because we cleaned up the zoning ordinance a few years back with a whole bunch of definitions that weren't listed
Or
anywhere.
incorporated,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if that's the case, then we would just we'd get rid of the building envelope definition altogether.
All right.
It doesn't really belong
But in the
anywhere.
past,
Well, it is used in the energy code, but that's used very differently than our zoning ordinance.
Few years back, we cleaned up a lot,
Right.
because we had, it said one thing over here, another thing over here, and. 30 said, I can't defend you.
Right, so I think we've changed the section that building envelope showed up in, and we're also changing the little diagram that has it on there to what the new change is, so having building envelope is up to you guys if you think we should keep, yeah.
But we
Mark,
had-
you,
we had cases in the past, I thought, that used building envelope. And Norma, you talked about it, that it was done the wrong way because it wasn't the inside of the building, it was sort of, could include the deck or a bunch of other things, it was. I kind of remember you saying it should have been like the inside of the walls or whatever it was, probably the way it's defined. I'm just wondering is if we change it now, does it go back, anything that we've done in the past get screwed up?
No, it shouldn't,
No, okay, thanks.
shouldn't, because it's being changed today.
okay, so then the agreement is that we strike the definition for building envelope?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you,
So-
Tara.
So I'll help you with that and we'll make the same change in the amendment we've been working on so that
Okay,
it happens either way, right?
yep.
Well, what about 7 and 8? Any comments on those? The rest of it is the same as the last discussions we had, correct, for 5 and 6?
I worked on 8 and there were no changes at the last meeting.
No, that pretty much stayed the same. When
8?
those conditions were presented, you guys didn't have any comments or anything or concerns
Sorry, specific to number 8?
specific to number 8. It's a list of proposed conditions
Yep,
that the zoning
okay.
board can put on approvals.
Okay, so there's no changes to that relative to the last meeting then?
Nope,
Okay.
no.
Just read number 7. It's on click, let's separate the manufactured home, right? Because isn't our rule that a single family dwelling is actually on 2 acres? But if it's a manufactured home, right?
You're on amendment number 7?
7.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm just reading it without context.
Amendment number 7 is section 463 restrictions governing use. So I don't know where you're at.
I'm looking at A1 period, single family dwelling is 1 acre with a limit of 1 per lot.
What amendment are you on?
He's on 7, part A.
I thought we had bounced over the 7 and 8. The
Correct.
second to last page. I'm sure I'm reading it out of context, because we approved it last time, but just as a double check.
So I don't know what you're reading because my amendment number 7 is restrictions governing use. Can I look and see what you're talking
It
about?
has to be
Yeah.
in-
Restrictions governing use. Restrictions governing use.
But that has to be in a certain zone.
That's right, so
Yeah.
I'm just reading out. What does it have to do with? Because isn't our limit on a single family dwelling vacant
Yeah, in the rural zone,
in the rural?
but I don't really know what 463 is in here, and it's
Okay.
according to the zone it's in.
Sorry. that's-
Yeah, so the reason why number 7 is in here.
Yeah.
Is because in this zone, this was the only zone that didn't clarify that only one residential use was allowed
The red lettering.
on one lot. So there could have been multiple things happening on one lot, which is not the case in any of the other zones. This was sort of a caveat that may not have been caught maybe a while back when the other language was added to the other zones.
It was
this
just,
only-
it was.
This is
it was
just cleaning
messing up.
things up and making things consistent.
You know which zone this actually is we're dealing with?
I'm getting-
Doesn't
Yeah, that would
say.
help if I added that on there. Okay, yep. Yeah.
The wide open. The big O.
I'll add that up here so it's clear.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that may be beneficial.
Were there no other comments on the other 3 that I worked on? Or am I all set, or?
Well, let's just stay on number 7 before we go there.
Okay,
think her
you
point
kind
is
of
that-
bounced from 3 to 7 and I lost you.
Yeah,
'Cause I'm
because
here
in this,
for-
say, what's on. And it also, it has an example of what A is. And it's under the example, it says. 1 duplex equals 2 dwelling units where there's a 2 acre, which would match. 1 multifamily structure with 6 dwelling units would be 6 dwelling units. 10 multifamily structures with 6 dwelling units would be 60 units. 68 at minimum, which would be 1 acre per. So yeah, I guess it all follows, but it doesn't say what zone.
Tara, I didn't have any issues with any of the changes that you had submitted this go around.
Sorry.
You going back to amendment 3 and 4?
Well, so we're paying Tara by the hour to sit here and
Yeah.
work with us. So if we're
Well,
doing
you're not
stuff,
this time, it's a
there's
lump
nothing
sum,
to-
but,
Capiche?
I worked
Trying
on
to be
4 and
efficient.
5,
Gotcha.
but there's actually 3 amendments in there, so.
He's
If-
just doing the non-conforming structures section.
Sorry. Stand correct, thank you.
I couldn't hear what you last said, Tara.
She asked, I think, if there were any change, or any other comments to the.
Yes, I was here to see if you had any comments on 4 or 5. It's actually gonna be 4, 5, and 6 because there's 3 amendments nested in there.
So for my edification, what were the changes since the last meeting that you made?
The only changes you made at the last meeting was the reference to the building code. In what's gonna be your amendment 5 or the separate handout where destruction by fire or natural disaster or repairs would both reference the New Hampshire State Building Code.
yeah, I didn't think there was a lot of changes from the last time we talked.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then
Yep.
I think we're okay. Yeah.
So am I?
You
all-
want an
I'm all
accord with
set
that?
And I'll catch up with you tomorrow, Jessica, on numbering and whatnot?
Yes, because I need to get this stuff off to town council as soon as possible.
Yep, so I started doing the kind of cleanup of the marked up what would be 5. And honestly, it's so messy and complicated. I think people are gonna be frustrated, and I'm wondering what the committee would think of saying instead to replace section 320 that currently reads like this with this new version, and here's the new version. So much was just moved around that the changes are impossible to follow in the if you have a copy of the marked up version, you'll see what I mean.
Right, because what's gonna end up happening is on these colored,
Yeah,
that's gonna get added to this,
okay,
and it's gonna become extremely lengthy.
very
and,
lengthy.
Well, it's gonna be lengthier if we say, here's the old version and here's the new version, but I think
Right.
it will be, you know, people will be able to read it and compare the two.
I didn't get one with colored ones.
Where are you gonna look at this?
There's a pile out here.
Yeah. That one.
Yeah.
Do you need one?
Have you done something like this before, Tara? Like, do you have anything in mind on what you might,
Yeah,
what,
I did-
what
I
it
mean,
might look like?
I started doing the red line and strikeout, but I honestly think and you brought this possibility up when we started talking about it, of just saying, do you support the planning board's proposal to replace section 320 that currently reads like this with this new version that looks like this? And I mean, I'll give you a description. I gave you a description that can go on the warrant and the ballot. All this stuff doesn't need to go on the warrant and ballot. This is just the details
Yep.
that you file with the town clerk.
Yep.
Is it summarable?
Oh, I summarized it, so I already gave you that language for the warrant and ballot. But what we're talking about is the document that's the details of the amendments that you file with the town clerk. That's the official amendment.
I mean, that's fine if that's lengthy. I suppose the changes have to be documented somewhere for the public to be able to view it.
And Norma has to have it to point it out to customers who come in.
And I have to understand it and find out.
That may take some time.
So that's fine. We can use the descriptions that you wrote up. I think they're great. And we can just incorporate these changes into this this other document that I started with.
Well, I can, if you shared that document with me, I can paste in the current language of 320 and the new language of 320 and the description and everything and make it match your format. But right now, the marked up with the red line and strikeout is just too messy to follow, I think.
All right, I can do that. I'll share that with you.
I mean, if you want to make any other changes that you have to make after this meeting, send it to me in the morning. I'll put my part in and, you know, leave me, I gotta get your document back up. 4, 5, and 6. I have 3. We broke this up into 3 amendments. Like put in placeholders for those and then send it to me and I'll make it match what you did.
I can do that.
Do you want it to be red, like crossed out and the red bold to be consistent, or even though it's the whole thing?
That's the Jessica, correct?
Like it doesn't
What
look
makes
like you did,
understanding easier.
it doesn't look like you did that with number 8. You just said, here's the new section. So that's what I think would be cleaner.
Yeah, that's because I was running out of time.
Oh, but okay.
So yes.
But
So
you'd
number
rather
8 will-
that be red bold in number 8 too.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Okay.
it will be- Yeah, I just, yeah.
Well, since I wasn't supposed to be home, I have time, so send it to me with a placeholder for 3 amendments.
Okay, and I'll make sure, you know, I have everything updated the way it's supposed to look and changes that take place tonight after you are done.
Yep. Good.
All right.
Okay. Any other comments on 4, 5, or 6? Nope. Right. And I guess we can cut Tara loose.
Thank you, Tara.
All
Thank
right.
you.
I'll look for your email in the morning.
Very good. All right.
So we wasted our time, even though I have for time.
There's
gonna
be some renumbering.
Thank you for that.
And so then we talked about 7 and I guess 8 by default then as well. With 8, we covered last time. And with other than the designation of rural residential zone and number 7, any other points?
Yep.
Yes, there are. Okay, okay, all right.
Does anybody know mine, though? So, or it's specific to that, I mean,
That was the only one that was missing.
That's the one that's missing. That's what I understood.
One house on a lot in zone, and that one just didn't say it, so you could build 3 houses on a lot. So we decided to change it.
and the other zones is all 1 acre as well.
I don't know about
No, no, no,
acreage, but
one
it's all at least one,
They're all different.
but it's just the number of houses that is being changed.
So you'll get this cleaned up and into a document that can go to legal counsel, I guess. Okay. So that we can then review. Look like you're awfully stressed out. So then November 6th, we'll be able to go through this for a final soiree. All right. Good. Any public input? None? Clear as mud. So then again, any other points to discuss? Around the table?
You basically need approval to go on from us. Done.
By default, I think she's got that already.
Yeah, I'm not sure she. have it done.
No, but, well, I had to check with, Tara.
I don't, well, we didn't do it, right? It could have been done sidebar.
Change something. That's
Or-
piece.
Yeah,
That's why we have committee.
it's, well, it seems that way. I think
Recording
why we put it
devices.
Together, and waste our time. It's not sidebar.
Well, you have to have preparation for the game.
But let's look at it this way. We're all perfectly unified and we know where we're going from here now, right?
Change something.
It's not the first time.
Another point, Norma, or not? No.
Just
It's not wasting our time when she's on the top.
Okay, that closes further discussions then. And everyone's aware of the next meeting is November 6th, then we'll convene here. And then the planning board presentation on the 19th. And on the 17th, public hearing. Confirm,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, for the public hearing. Okay.
From now on, you have to.
So I usually do it the week after, but the selectmen meetings change, so it might not be a Tuesday, it might be another Wednesday or something.
All right.
The selectmen's meetings have
Stay
changed.
flexible. Oh,
Generally, I'm.
Yeah.
Be a little bit.
That complicates planning board for you.
It's fine.
Well, Tuesday was also training for the fire department, and it was a busy day.
Yeah.
Historical Society, I'm a member, I'd never been to a meeting. Oh, I've been to one meeting, but I've been a member for 30 years
wow.
because I had things to do on those.
All right. Then we can close out this meeting and have a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Wow.
Good job.
Job.
Time is 6:30 one.